I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion for approved minutes from last meeting.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 2-0. Claims. Motion to approve claims.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No. Treasurer's bank reconciliation. Motion.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Elections.
I'll make a motion.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Dana is not going to be here, so we can scratch off. Not one of these.
The judge is here if you want to throw her in that place.
Yeah.
Good morning. Just looking for a little guidance. Dudley had asked me when I was looking at getting carpets cleaned to get a carpet estimate on replacing the carpet. It is threadbare in a lot of places. And so I have that. Romer's actually reached out to me when they ordered the new carpet for the whatever, saying could they go ahead and order all at once. And I said, oh, no, we're not there yet. So I think you have in your paperwork the bids. But then I got from Ken the other day, hey, this is our 5, give me your 5 things. If they were going to be doing any repairs in our court office, it doesn't seem to make sense to get new carpet in and then do work over it and it would get dirty. So I don't know if this is a conversation I need to have with you and the council at the same time, or.
I would say you want to give any one of us knows exactly what you want and then.
Well, and I'm not necessarily asking for your time
Well,
to come up there, but just what does this look like? Maybe I should go ahead, I mean, it's pretty dirty. Maybe I should just go ahead and get it cleaned this year for a Band-Aid. We haven't had it cleaned in probably 4 or 5 years. And see what direction it goes, but I don't want to be mindful of the cost too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the council's for it. I don't think any of us are against it. I'm gonna speak for myself, but you want to show. What are you doing after that or anytime? You just tell me when you want either one of the 3 of us to be here, shows exactly what you're wanting. I mean, I would like to sit down in our joint meeting and run these through. So,
Well, maybe I'll wait until we have the 5 things and you have the bigger picture in front of you guys.
okay, that sounds good.
And then also, kind of dovetailing off of that, the security meeting that you and Kelly were at, we talked about putting tint on the bottom windows around. And so, Bill Lathrop got a price for that. But then there was some conversations about were you going, because Daniel had offered the prosecutor to pay, I think the estimate is $4,400, but that's all the bottom windows, bottom doors, everything. And I have that estimate and he offered to pay, subject to your approval, $2,500 out of some fund that he has. Kim, you know what that fund is?
I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Diversion.
Yeah.
Or something, because it, is a.
Safety, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it'd be safety. It could come out of deferral.
And, but then the conversation came up, wait, are we replacing windows? And so,
Windows are not going to happen this year. Or, I don't. That's a big discussion. So, I mean, the wind is blowing through the clerk's office out there. You can feel it standing there. I think it's something we need to look at, but that's why these joint meetings are handy. We can talk to our council and figure how many millions of dollars it's going to replace the windows.
all right,
Yeah, so I don't think windows are anything on the table for immediate fix, but it is on the agenda as far as things that need to be fixed. So
okay,
as far as blocking out the bottom windows, I think we could probably move ahead with that, and I would consider that a waste of money. I mean,
okay.
That's probably a good thing that someone can't just look at it, sitting in his chair.
If they would accept the $40 million from the solar company's economic development payment, which the state has given each county the opportunity to do, it would help tremendously with costs. Just saying. Not your,
$4,400 for
Yeah.
window tinting, but,
yeah,
all right, okay, that's it, thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, everyone.
are we looking for department heads or?
Yeah.
Garth,
Morning, Garth. Just a couple things. We had a individual quit. Had interviews last week, filling that spot.
paramedic or,
ET.
okay,
Yeah, so we fill in that spot here in a couple of weeks. He accepted the job Friday. Having some issues, with one of the ambulances, with the DEF system. Surprise. Sending it off to the shop today to get it looked at, figure out what it is. I think it's a sensor that just got recently replaced. So, but we hit the golden number of 100,000 miles on it. And when we hit between 100 and 150,000 on these trucks, they start nickel diamonds. But anyway, that's all I really have.
do you mind, we lost an EMT who to another EMT service or?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
personal issues. He stepped
oh,
away.
great,
He stepped down.
I was gonna say, because there's definitely not anybody paying any more than we do.
No.
Okay.
It was a personal situation. He stepped away.
Okay,
He stepped away,
great,
so-
sorry to hear that, but I hope everything's all right. Okay.
Other than that, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything for me? Okay, thank you. Thanks, Sharon.
Danny? She raised her hand, I'm sorry. Couldn't see you. You were too short.
Did you guys get my email by chance? So basically, I'm with West Central Regional Community Corrections, I'm the director, Danielle Snyder. And we have a grant process for running Cleveland County. We're a unique agency. We run on user fees and we run on a grant. We don't ask the county for anything. We pay our way at the county, we pay all of our insurance, all those type of things. It's just the process, the statute says that the grant money has to come to the county. 30, actually almost 40 years ago, probably 91. I think it's when they first started doing this and they vibrated 93. So I'm asking for permission to submit a grant. But I'm not asking you guys for any money for that grant. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, and what I have today is I have, basically a grant for West Central Regional Community Corrections, which our portion of this is our user fees is about equivalent. We pay about 50% of user fees, but we're asking for $1,091,612 for community corrections. Fountain County Probation is funded with this grant for a probation officer also. They're asking for $87,973. Park County Probation, which again, the collaboration is why it has to run through here. It's asking for $52,920. Montgomery County Probation is asking for $164,890. And Montgomery County Drug Court is asking for $80,441. So what I'm asking today is just permission for us to submit our annual grant request.
So clarify again, that's all state of Indiana money other than your
That-
user fees. So people
So,
hear it.
Yeah, and they pay some of
Okay.
their insurance now, and they're actually paying the benefits and stuff without county probation. Yeah, it's
Okay.
100% grant funds, state funds, no, it's just a unique, and what we do, just so you know, and I'm Kim, so we used to, for the county's trouble, especially since we have other, money comes in for Park County and it has to be cut back out and, you know, whole lump sum. That created issues, you know, more work for the county auditor. So we put in our user fees, a stipend at $2,500, so you could buy a computer. We raised it to $3,500 this year just for costs are increasing. So we've actually, we'll be giving you guys $3,500 for your trouble in hopes that it goes to the auditor's office to help them with some means, maybe a computer. It goes to county general, but it's just nice to know that that's coming forward. Just asking for those approvals today.
Yeah.
And
We
we
can
have,
make the motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve for her to do the grant process.
All second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
and I would invite you, if you guys are ever through, Petersburg, doesn't matter about what time, we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just give me a call and I'm usually there till about 7. So, be glad to show you around and show you what we do, because it's a lot bigger than what people imagine serving 5 counties.
Thank you.
Shake your phone.
I don't, oh,
Our immunization grant has been rescinded. It was for $94,000. We've been paying our part-time nurse for that. We would like to use HFI funds to continue to use her. The immunization grant was until June 30th of 2025. We would like to continue to use her till the end of the year. So we just need approval that we can use those HFI funds.
and you already have the
Yeah,
funds, yeah.
Yes,
There's
yeah,
no
we-
additional appropriation or anything.
well, we'll have to transfer a line item, so I don't know how
Oh,
that is handled,
But the money's there.
but the money is there.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, say it again and I'll make a motion.
So we want to use HFI funds to continue to use our part-time nurse in place of the immunization grant.
That would be my motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else?
I think so.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jen.
Thanks, Jenny. Jason here.
I don't see him. No.
Jason Oh, he's on Zoom.
I'm online, guys. I just had one thing for you all. The authorization to proceed for the design on bridges 103 and 105 from USI. Did you guys have a chance to look over those? And if so, are you okay with moving forward on the design process for those bridges?
Where were those bridges located? Is that the one in Stone Bluff?
No, these are on Foster Road. One would be just north of 400 North, and one would be south of Aylesworth.
Okay,
The one just north of 400 North would be a rehab that we'd like to do this year, and then the one south of Aylesworth on Foster Road would be a replacement for next year.
okay.
I'm sorry, Tim, you probably don't have the papers.
Yeah.
Mount.
Don't, yeah, okay, I'm looking at them. So, yeah, I don't. No problem.
Any motion to approve design for both bridges?
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Three.
Okay, thank you. And our community crossings project should start around the 1st of May. We had a pre-con with Milestone last Thursday, and they're planning on starting around the 1st of May. So
Okay,
Any other questions? Questions? Nope. Great. Got anything else for us, Jamie? Already on.
Maybe you didn't hear him.
Jason, you still there?
yes, yeah,
You have anything else for us?
no, not unless you guys do.
the corporation line's gonna be closed for 5 days. Right?
Oh, yes, for the box replacement. Yes, they're working on that today. Boxes will be here Thursday to set.
Okay. And then they'll fix that. Had a lot of complaints on the rough spot on the other side that we fixed last year. But I've told everybody who's called that it'll be all wedged out, and once this next one's done.
Yeah, we'll go from we're gonna put a mat on it.
Okay,
Set everything up. Yes, on both of them.
okay.
Good. Anybody else back there?
No,
Good, everybody.
extension office.
Oh,
Yeah.
Adam,
It's got kind of, just a positive update. We had Ag Day Safety Day last week. It went really well, so we got to see all the fourth grade and third grade, but, something that was kind of special, last week, I don't know if all of you are aware, but the governor chose Fountain County as one of his counties he was gonna visit last, Thursday. And one of the locations that he chose to come see was he actually came to our safety day. And it was really cool getting to interact, and he actually volunteered to talk to the kids. He presented to the kids, but then he also had a question and answer. So, and I will say he's definitely a trooper because the third graders had some very unique questions. But at the end of the day, he was very excited about his visit to Fountain County. Before he left, I had a chance to talk with him. He said that he was excited about it and actually asked that we work with his chief of staff for next year. And he wants to either get to either Ag Day or Safety Day and make this a regular thing. So, but at the end of the day, it was a very positive visit for Fountain County. So I just wanted to share that with you all today about that. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, thanks.
thank you.
Thank you.
We've done the VT rentals. So the new, you know, scratch this out, Tim, the $5,997 is $10,469.31. The new bid came in this morning. That is to fix the rest of her room and then what they found in the inspection, all the stuff. So it's all right. Bottom, but yeah. So, can I get a
So the
motion to approve
total is
totals
$10,469.31.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve that.
I just want to make a public comment on this, not a public comment, a commissioner comment. We've worked on this building for several years and know what the water lines are like and everything. Windows, as you mentioned, Aaron. I want to fix this building up, but I want to fix it up right. And that's what we were trying to do. And that's what that 40 million in solar money could have helped do. But regardless, whether you have the solar money or not, this building has to be taken care of, whether it means raising taxes or not. All these things, well, let me go back. Probably 5 years ago, no, 6 years, 7, 8 years ago, because Craig Stalter and Don Hesser were still commissioners. We had hired Tradecraft, who you guys have hired here to do some work, which is an excellent company out of Attica. They specialize in plaster like we have in this courthouse. And we've done the hallway up in the judge's office. I believe the judge's office, because at that time we were just like this. We were just trying to piecemeal things, just trying to get it to hold together. Then, you know, the thing with we had changing commissioners and the stuff with solar started and we saw, hey, you know, maybe there'll be some money here to where it won't have to fall back on the taxpayers, but bottom line, whether there's solar money or not, we knew that this building is going to be 100 years old in 10, 11 years, 12 years. And it's still got the original water lines in it, guys, and everything. We've had contractors tell us it's just a matter of time before one of those puppies pops and there's nothing they can do about it. So every county around us, Montgomery's in their second or third phase. They're on the outside of their historic courthouse. Park, not for sure about Vermillion. Warren's redone theirs. We just gotta, I mean, this is like putting lipstick on a pig. I mean, yeah, we need to do it. But we were 2 months from getting final drawings with Architectura, who is one of the best architectural companies in the state of Indiana, getting plans. Wasn't going to do anything yet, but their designs have totally redesigned this building, Maple Corner, and then Roger was working on the highway garage. 2 months, we spent about $300,000 of ARPA money, not quote unquote local money, but ARPA money. We were 2 months from getting the final drawings, and the council said, nope, we're done. After 5 of them or 6 of them had sat in a meeting with us in April the year before and knew that we were going to get, this purpose was to get the drawings, which could have lasted probably forever. I mean, you've got the square footage, you can bid it out. You can say this is what the courthouse would have cost. So this is my frustration with it. We were so close to getting something to where we could have got a bids don't cost anything, that we could even get there. So I'm just frustrated. You know, I'll vote to do this, but it's like, I just kind of want to bring you guys, because I don't know how much you guys were brought up on what has happened in the past. So it's, yeah, the windows, you're right. This one back here, I think it's fully rusted up in the clerk's office. It's coming through. They were cheap windows when they put them in. And that's just the way we've always kind of done things in Fountain County. So, I mean, I'm not talking Taj Mahal. I'm talking doing it right for a commercial building. So, but yeah, this stuff that you're talking about needs done. The employees need a nice place to work. The county needs a place to be proud of, but it costs money. If that means raising taxes, that means raising taxes. So it's tough decisions, but somebody, maybe not us, but somebody within the next 15, 20 years gonna have to make some tough decisions. So that's it. So I'll second your motion. Aye.
Department bid is for finishing out the new auditor's room as well.
Is that another motion?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next one, the on the circuit court, that's tabling. At the very bottom of the page there. And table that one. And then the table, the trade for that one on the back page as well. And we move on to the consulting contract. Right on. Good. Yeah, so I need a motion to approve the consulting contract.
We've used them for years and they do good work, so I'll make a motion.
I believe it said in the contract, you can pick 1 or 3 years. I'm just gonna go with 1. Unless you guys want to, I mean, I think the savings like. Yeah, I was just gonna go with 1. I'm not sure guys, if you want to, more than 1, but.
What was the savings for 3?
For 3 years, the savings is $900.
How many years have we dealt with them? Probably 20.
Yeah, for a long.
And worst case scenario, Ethan, have you looked at the?
No, I haven't looked at it. You mean the provisions for?
Yeah, worst case, we just get out of it. Or if they go, can't imagine, but if they go out of business, get somebody else. I don't. I'm just saying longevity of the company.
Yeah.
They've been in the county a long time, so a 3-year contract wouldn't hurt anything. We don't have to do it next year either that way, so.
We've had kind of a history of getting into contracts and then getting out of contracts and getting into contracts and getting out of contracts. Doing a year by year contract,
Yeah.
and it's
Usually that's not, I want to make that clear too, that's not the commissioners that have done that. that is not the commissioners. So, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Saying in county in general.
I'll do one. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Fountain County 4-H Club. That should be, if you have, it should be 6,000. Which is what we've done.
Yep, yep.
So, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, real. Couple transfers, can I get a motion to approve both these transfers? Or just one transfer?
I'll make a motion for the transfer.
I'll second.
I'm
All
sorry.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Real. All right, now we get down to the rezoning. Okay, I'm not gonna hand this to you. You want to go?
Yeah. You go over that. So last month, the APC was presented and had a rezone, public hearing for rezone for a parcel of ground located Van Buren Township, Section 30, Township 20, Range 7, right along US Highway 41. What it is a hydrovac retail company wants to come in and put a building in to build a retail sales facility along US Highway 41. There's a piece of ground that's come up for sale. They want to purchase it, but rezone it as from agriculture to business for tax purposes. And so their commercial business license is kept in check with the state. We held the public hearing. There was some concern by some citizens of it is agricultural ground. You know, we're limited in the county of what agricultural ground we have. There was a landowner that said, an adjacent landowner asked for denial for what the future might hold for the rest of the property. There's 11.79 acres in the tract that they want to buy, and they're going to use their business is maybe going to take 3 of it. But they were asking originally to rezone the whole 11.79 acres, just so it's one done deal. There was a petition that went around. I have a copy of that. 14 signatures. We got a petition for the signatures, but we didn't get a cover letter of what the petition was for. I understand that the petition's for a denial for the rezone, but under what circumstances is what I'd like to see with that. After reviewing all that, looking over everything, some key points I have on it are it's right on the main thoroughfare through the county, right on Highway 41. It's right on the fringe of the Petersburg ETG. And then instead of trying to go through a agricultural exemption on a rezone or on a zoning variance, they try to do it the right way and go through a full rezone for the property. I can see some of the others, the adjoining landowners' frustrations with, business coming in, the uncertainty of the future of the parcel. That's kind of bringing everybody up to speed on where that is for a reason.
Well, I thought we had a moratorium on ag land right now until the APC figured out what they were going to do. My understanding that moratorium's still on.
Moratorium is for solar permitting.
No, it was for ag use, period. Solar was one of them. Solar was a big one. Let's not kid ourselves, but it was for ag land. And nothing's been done. Not supposed to say nothing's been done. Nothing's been brought to the commissioners to figure to approve for the changing of the current zoning ordinance.
When was the moratorium? The general one?
Aaron was on when we did it.
Means we're in June.
Probably coming up on a year. Yeah. So we froze all changes basically to ag, or not change, because actually solar wasn't a change. Solar was in the AP or in the plan at the time. So that's probably, does the APC have an attorney? That's another thing.
I showed up for the rezone because they asked me to show up for that, but then I got out of there as quick as I could. Not because I have anything against them, but it was like 8 o'clock and I don't.
Right.
need my
That's a
wife
typical
there.
meeting, I think. Anyhow, I would highly suggest not doing anything with ag right now. Not that I'm against business coming into the county. I absolutely am not. But until this is figured out, and we have an attorney on that board, because I've got a letter to read, which you all got from the Democratic Party later, and it's not in this point, but the point is that board needs an attorney, and they need to listen to that attorney, or we will be sued. So that's my thoughts on it.
What do you think, Ethan?
So when they send this over to you guys certified, they send it with no recommendation, which to me, the best process then is you have a couple of choices today. You can just deny it and say, we're not doing this. If you don't do anything, it dies automatically within 90 days. Or if you want to say, hey, this is something we want to entertain, then I would go ahead and get it docketed for the next meeting so we can get the appropriate notices published out there and have I don't want to say another hearing where we do everything verbatim again, but we would need to have another little hearing over it because it would be you guys passing a new ordinance. I don't know anything about this June 2024 moratorium on ag. I don't think anyone did. I think that is one of the problems that gets baked in when an election cycle and the board switching and then council switching. There's stuff that we don't know about. I knew nothing about it. But it could be out there and it could completely blow the whole thing up and say, no, no moratorium. I just haven't seen it. But I know where to look for it.
I'm not, yeah. That's, I mean, you guys can argue with me, but I guess we unfortunately just move it to the joint meeting on the 21st.
Well, time to,
That gives us 2 more weeks to dot i's and cross t's. I get the motion to.
yeah, I'll make a motion to table the rezone until the 21st meeting so we can dive into everything, make sure everything's
Sure, we're
I'll second.
just.
all in favor. Aye.
If the moratorium, for whatever reason, expired or doesn't cover it, I don't know, I haven't seen it. Does this need to be ready for passing? Are you gonna be having a hearing on whether or not you're gonna pass this ordinance? Amending the zoning map?
That would be, yeah, I mean, if we're set, then we're gonna hold a vote on the 21st, whether or not.
Okay, because that means we gotta publish a type of notice, they would fill this room up.
Mhm.
Okay.
May I say something,
Yes,
Yes,
Aaron?
yeah,
I am looking at the ordinance of the Fountain County Board of Commissioners 2024-2, adopting text amendment to the Fountain County zoning ordinance in reference to the solar energy systems and facilities of the zoning ordinance. The Board of Commissioners have received additional public input regarding that commercial solar energy collection systems. They believe that a moratorium on the filing and acceptance of any new applications for permit under Article 9 solar energy systems and facilities by any person, firm, or entity seeking to place or install commercial solar energy collection systems on any property within the jurisdiction. The Plan Commission in Fountain County, Indiana will provide the Plan Commission with the opportunity to further study those impacts of CSECS and to consider changes to the solar energy collection systems overlay district ordinance. So this is the moratorium on any new permitting by any solar company in Fountain County. That was the ordinance. It was signed, I believe, June 3rd, adopted this third day of June 2024. It is due to expire June 3rd of 2025. So it's not in reference to anything agricultural. It's just in reference to permitting of new solar arrays. Does that answer anybody's question?
What was that date again, Callie, on that, so Ethan can look it up?
June 3rd, 2024.
Okay.
Is that what you were referencing, was the one that for solar?
Yes.
I thought it was agriculture, period, or
No,
anything to do with ag.
I've looked at that one very recently, that one is just for Article 9, which is only solar.
Right. And
Okay,
that's the only one that I remember ever being moratoriumed on,
yes,
because we as the council did our ERA and abatement prior, and ours was done like May 23rd or something like that, towards the end of May of that same year. So
thank you, Kelly.
you're welcome. Have a good day, everybody.
so
So,
to clarify, the moratorium is for solar
Just solar.
permitting and nothing
I
else.
thought it was freezing the entire thing with ag.
It does not change what we just did. I'm still of the opinion that we're passing a new ordinance. We need to set this for the next meeting and publish it so that everybody has a chance to be heard on it.
Okay. Yeah. So the motion stands.
Yeah.
all right, next thing on the docket here is comprehensive plan. Sue, you sent out an email bringing up the importance of looking over the comprehensive plan, and I couldn't agree more. That's why I would like a motion to pass it back down to the APC. To let them look over it and fix it, essentially. There were a lot of things in that comprehensive plan that I believe I voted for to pass through, but as we're finding out, there are 4 criteria to the comprehensive plan, and the health department was only talked to with 1 phone call. The sheriff had only 1 phone call. None of the fire departments had a phone call. These are all important things that should be involved to tell the county that it is our whatever analogy you want to use this. It is what we're supposed to be going off of as a county, and it's very vague. So
It's the main reason counties have these is for a guide and to get federal monies, period.
Mhm.
It's not written in stone. We paid $50,000 for the thing.
Yeah.
It was done by a reputable company. If you want to go with another 50 grand. Like I said, it's not written in stone. It's, you kind of do what they want. It's a, whatever, this is where the county's going to go. It's going to remain agricultural for whatever. It's going to do this. You'll have your growth corridors along whatever. But we don't have to, it's nothing that you have to, 90% of that's to get federal monies.
Well, and I understand that, but I think it needs to be, the blueprint that it is needs to be a lot better than what the cut and paste option that we received for $50,000. I think we can make it better. I think we can make it a lot.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So we're gonna have a the motion to pass that back down to the agency.
Make that motion.
Go ahead and second, Aaron.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And
I'm against.
okay, 2-1. All right. With that being done, there is a letter that I would like to submit. It's on the table. I already got it. I would like to submit that to Kim to put on the minutes and on the website. And then we can move on to Kim. Do you want to kind of introduce yourself? Or wait, I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Kim Hallwhite. I have been in the community working for about 12 years now. I was at the library for 12 years doing programming in the children's department. And we remodeled the children's department, and I just fell in love with the process of that and getting the grants to do that. So I moved on to volunteering for the VRA in Petersburg. Very much enjoyed working with them, and they were very much in a transition where they needed new people to come in and take over because they've been holding the torch for many decades. So I got to get involved with that, and we were able to go and get a couple murals done and an amphitheater done. A lot of the big things that needed to be done in town, just, you know, we were working in micros, not macros, but I really enjoyed the process. So in the process of that, I was offered a position with WIGA initially to help them with what they were doing, and I was really excited. I left the library that I was completely in love with, and we just got a new art studio, and I had nice programs going to go do that, and was really excited to get it, even though I had no idea what I was doing, absolutely out of my umbrella of expertise. But I'm a fast learner, and I was willing to go into that. So we did that for a while, and it didn't quite work out for different reasons. And so I just kept on moving on projects that I was already committed to and everything, and just trying to learn, and went to and attended Ball State's economic development courses, and was just introduced to a whole different group of people that, you know, it really helped my point of view of what I was looking at, because I was like, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I should stick to the library. But there were great people there, great people that I learned wonderful things from, and good resources. So I just kept going on and trying to do some projects for Petersburg, and they've been wonderful to work for. They've been very supportive and very encouraging. And I just accepted, you know, I'm an independent contractor. I'm just self-employed at this time, trying to figure it out. I really am just starting, but I've got the boots on the ground, and my advocacy is definitely children and young families, and whatever I do moving forward is going to support them. And I'm just grateful to be here to help in any way that I possibly can. I know just what I wanted to share today is that I was in a regional arts commission meeting, and there are grants available through the Art Federation. Now, they aren't going to help with the courthouse windows or anything, but they will help like smaller communities if they have projects or things that they need to do. They love to give to the rural, and so I'd love to go out and find those different opportunities and give them to the people that need it. I know that, you know, on that state level where there's a lot of changes happening, and trying to keep an eye and a tab on that and making sure that, you know, we do have, Petersburg just got their first conceptual plan done while we're working on it thanks to the Community Foundation. We were able to get funding to do a conceptual plan to redo the park. So that was one thing that was really important, that I heard everybody in the community saying, where's our park? Why don't we have a park? We have to leave town to go to another park. So from seeing, you know, working with kids and children and families in the library and coming into this position, that's definitely, I mean, that's my advocacy group, and that's what I'm going to stand for if I move forward in anything.
So Chief, will you direct them? Did you say that at the beginning?
Well,
I didn't say, I wasn't following where we were going.
so we approached me and asked me, and I said no 3 times because I didn't have a great experience, and but I was able to sit down with everybody and see where I think they're going, and I think it's in the same direction that I felt like it was going in the first place. So I said that I would sign on and try to help them move forward with their projects.
So we have a contract that I'm not going to sign today. I want to voice my backing of it. But I'd really like to hold that vote on our joint meeting on the 21st, so that the council's sitting here too. So that we don't sit here, we make a decision, and then we don't have any money to do certain things, so it's just a waste of time. So I'd really like that at the joint meeting to sit there and.
And this will have to be an additional because they didn't fund money last year for it.
That's why I really want them sitting in the room. So,
Okay.
but I want to be on camera saying that I support this moving forward. So, tends where there's a lot of money we're messing with here that I think, and I told both of you, we backed ourselves in the corner. We don't really need to make a decision, unfortunately. But Brad can attest, there's a lot of money here that we need to make sure that we follow through with.
We've got 1.5 million so far.
Yeah.
And 800,000 more that should be coming with Ready 2. 6 million for Attica, provided they get that, have their match, and everything goes okay.
Yeah. So, and it's all coming
close to
through.
$10 million.
Yeah.
So that is how important it is to have somebody in economic development for the whole county.
But like I said, I don't want to take action on the contract today, but I would like to put it forward to June 21st. So the council's sitting here, so we can one way or the other get it taken care of. So.
One more thing I wanted to say, and this was a point that came up that I didn't realize how important it was that we're part of a region, so every county around us is dependent on us to show up. So I mean, that's an important thing because we don't want to let them down. So I just
multiple times steps. Relying on us hitting our marks before they get their money to do their projects. So, like I said, back in their corner. So
I'm going to go on record saying, I think the world of you. You're a go-getter. And this isn't anything to do with you. Just because people didn't like, and this is my opinion. Some people didn't like how Rod Bannon handled some things. Sitting back in the commissioner position, watching him work with the city of Attica, going through struggle after struggle and coming out on top every time. Getting this $6 million for this project in Attica. Man done a tremendous job, like him or not. The WEGA board put themselves in this own position. Wasn't anything to do with the county. This could have, this could have all flowed. And in a year or two, if they wanted to get rid of Rod at that time, whatever, but they're messing with fire right now because good chance they could lose that $6 million for Attica, which would be a shame. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I don't want that to happen.
I know, and that's nothing,
Right.
nothing I just said is against you or you taking the position. So, in my opinion, Rob Bannon done a phenomenal job. So, it's a shame that everything in this, every time this county, we got to get something going positive. For whatever reason, it's kicked down.
And
Yeah.
guys, you went through that with me.
Yes,
You
yes.
were there, went through all
Yes.
of it, so you know what I went through.
Yes, and I get,
And when you're in a position like that, you have to be diplomatic, you have to be able to work with other people, I mean, that's 90% of getting those funds and building those relationships. You know,
Right.
it's making sure that you can work into the other person's point of view, and that was the one thing that
Right.
was, you know, one of the biggest challenges.
well, he did, when it came down to it, he knew,
He's
he
smart.
put a lot of effort and time and,
I don't have anything negative
Yep.
to say about it at all.
Yep.
I mean, there's no,
just
no
like-
vindictive
Yep.
or anything. It's just
Okay.
things have to move forward and things have to keep going because
yep,
we need so much.
we would once again be the only county, one of the only counties in the state, if not the only, as usual, without economic development.
Right.
Hard for the course. So, okay,
Okay.
thank you, Kim.
Well,
May I say something?
Thanks, Kelly.
It is not par for course, but that's a nice comment. We are working and we have said that we are willing to work with WIGA. We all recognize that we need economic development in this county more so now than ever. And I do take offense to the kicking the can down the road kind of comment because we aren't kicking the can down the road. We're trying to do it the right way. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
Chewing on my tongue here. No, I think I'll pass on my comment.
All right, opening up for public comment.
Before we go to public comment, I want to talk about the APC. We received a letter from the Democratic Party, and I thought it was a well put letter from the chairperson, Lindsay Milberg. Aaron was looking for Democrats to settle on the APC, which the Democratic, it can't be all Republicans. So you need Democrats, Libertarians, or Independents. And an independent, someone who hasn't voted in a primary basically for 2 consecutive, I believe, presidential elections. I'm not positive, but that would be an true independent. They haven't voted in a primary and pulled the Democrat or Republican. So Aaron asked her if she, had anybody that they thought they might want to put on the board. And she responded, good morning all, Aaron, thank you for reaching out. At this time, I will not be appointing or suggesting any Democrat to the APC board due to the ethical concerns and potential legal implications surrounding certain committee actions. As the APC requires bipartisan participation, perhaps you could find a libertarian to fill the necessary roles. Respectfully, Lindsay Milberg. There was a meeting where we had no legal representation at the meeting. The only person in the room qualified to talk as a lawyer got up and left the meeting because he said this wasn't going well. He did not want to be in the room there. And next week he resigned. Actually, 4 people that next week resigned. Good for them because what what they did at that meeting without representation of an attorney was made a motion, and KW, tell me if I'm wrong, to pull a permit from Dolphin Solar because I don't know where they came up with this, that Dolphin hadn't fulfilled all their requirements. Dolphin, rightfully so, sent a letter immediately after that meeting saying, oh, yes, we have. Basically, this wasn't their word, and it was a lawyer. And that we're sure that they just didn't know or misspoke. And they want, basically what we need to do as commissioners is today say that we do not agree with that motion that was sent down or that they made that day, that Dolphin has done what they're supposed to do.
That motion's never been passed up to the commissioners. That
It doesn't matter, you still did it in a public meeting.
that motion has to be formally passed up from the APC to the commissioners in order for the commissioners to vote on.
But you still make a public comment. If the commissioners don't say publicly that we do not agree with the statements that were made that night, you're open.
I've had a lot of discussion actually with Dolphins Council, and they want us to do the same thing. I've taken the position that the way our zoning code reads, Roger holds the key. The APC doesn't have authority to do.
That's what I was at this point. They have no authority.
They might as well have a vote that the official fruit of Fountain County is watermelon.
Exactly.
To which I'm gonna say, we have no business. Who can't, like what? I don't want my advice is stay out of it, but they haven't passed anything up. I guess if they really want that and this board wants to entertain it, I'm not gonna absolutely not stand in the way. I'm just of the position, the APC doesn't have the authority to do stuff under our zoning code. It's Roger holds the keys on it.
Okay. I'm done. So, but moving forward, that board, before I would meet the next time, I would have legal representation.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I mean, at one point, and this is not prior to you, but prior to KW, you had one of the best law firms in the state of Indiana that you could have asked questions to. Did anyone ever ask him questions before they done anything? Rick Hall, Barnes and Thornburg. That's who we had as our counsel, Fountain County, on this solar stuff. It just floored me that people in different positions didn't call him and say, hey, Rick, what about this? What about this? So, and I don't know where his contract's at, but I don't know whether it's completed or what, but anyhow, I'm just saying, use the resources you have. Don't think or let someone tell you that, oh yeah, it's on Facebook. We all know everybody on Facebook tells the truth and nobody ever lies on Facebook. Half the stuff, I won't even go there, but it's really easy for somebody to hide behind Facebook and throw stuff out there that's not even, I've said this before, not even close to being true, but it's gospel if it's on Facebook. It'll get to where nobody worth holding the position will run for any public offices if this keeps up in this country. It's just not Fountain County. It's everywhere. But I will say, Fountain County holds pretty top to the state. And what happens? So that's it. Just use your attorneys, listen to your attorneys. When they tell you stuff, don't listen to YouTube. Causes a lot of issues. That's it.
We'll let Larry and let Carol, she had her hand up first. You had a question, Carol?
It seems like Tim brought something up that needed to be done today. Is that going to take place?
On the commissioner saying that they don't agree with that, what was done at the,
Yes.
should be, but.
And also have we, let's see. The extension office, made an appointment.
I had found nobody that was interested yet.
Oh, yeah, and that's another thing. Is Lexi Haddock sitting on that board?
No.
I was gonna say, she don't own property in the county that I know of, so it has to be someone from an unincorporated area. Or own land. You can live in town, but you have to own land in the unincorporated areas of the county. That's correct.
Yeah, Larry.
Going through, in my mind, what happened in the commissioners meeting, the next meeting after maybe that particular case. Roger read the letter that he wrote to Paul. That it was, he called it a provisional permit. Pending the provision of the technical data that was asked for, that was supposed to be provided. And he said, in his letter, if I remember correctly, it was that he said it has to be provided prior to work starting. And that so it would continue to be a provisional permit contingent on the provision of that material. Wayne DeLong from Dalton said that he had provided, he had a letter, he gave me a letter, a copy of the letter. That was the response to the letter from Roger. And he was saying, and my impression from his response during the meeting, I didn't read the letter till I got home, but my response to my impression of his response to that letter in the meeting was that, yes, they did provide the information, the technical information that Roger had asked for. They did provide it. And he said he sent it to a copy to Colleen Chambers and to Roger. And so I asked at Colleen, I pointed to her because that's where she sat. So I asked Colleen, had she received it? And she said she didn't think so, but it could be in her desk somewhere. That's possible. But if she had received it, she just thinks she would have forwarded it to Roger. Roger said, and I asked Roger, did you receive it? He said, no, he hasn't received it. He hasn't received it yet. The impression from the meeting was that he wrote the letter and it was December 24th, 19th, somewhere in late December, that they sent that letter. But when I got home, I read the letter and they said, wait a minute. And it was kind of a, I don't know how to describe, I won't characterize it generalize, but the point is I can't come up with the words how I would describe it. But the point was that we don't have to provide that information. In fact, how are you treating us? Why are you treating us different than you did Ranger? Ranger didn't have to do all that, it would seem. So why are you treating us different than Ranger? We're not gonna provide it, we don't have to. So the impression during the meeting was that, yes, we did. We provided it. Colleen didn't receive it. Roger didn't receive it in the meeting. But then find out in the letter, they didn't. They don't have to. In fact, we want to meet with your counsel and Kent. And the next, that was on a, I understand it was on, if I remember correctly, it was a Friday, and they wanted to meet on Monday in Kent, in Crawfordsville. They would meet with council. So I'm betting they still haven't provided the information. And it was a provisional permit contingent on receiving that information, that technical data that was required prior to construction starting. And Wayne DeLong's, I'll call it, argument was that they have vested interest. And you can't stop this because we have vested interest. We put a lot of money into it already. We have vested interest. Now tell me, how much more vested interest will happen? And will it be the same argument? We have vested interest if they don't provide that prior to construction start of construction. If they didn't provide it, we don't have to provide it now. And it was 60, and according to the statute, I don't know what it's called, whatever was in the books that they were looking at that ABC meeting, and it said 60 days. If they haven't, then it's considered that it's dropped. Because some companies have the permit and it doesn't come to fruition and nothing continues to be done on that project with that permit. And that could be years then, that permit is, does it still come under that permit? Even though things have changed and ordinances may have changed since then. So that particular ordinance or whatever you call it, I'm not sure the technical terminology there, but that it had to be done within 60 days. Well, during the meeting, it was 16 days during, and still haven't received it, and still haven't received it even after that meeting. And
even at that, Larry, and I'm not saying everything you said, I'm not disputing anything you said. Even at that, the attorneys, a person with a law degree, looks at that and makes the determinations. Not us here, not us, a lawyer. And they have said that they have crossed their T's and dotted their I's. So all good questions.
Did our lawyer look at it? Did Kent look at it?
Actually.
Did they meet? I would like to know, did they meet in December before Kent was done?
I can't answer that. And actually, Rick Hall was the lead on that. The Barnes and Thornburg attorney. So. Don't know. All I know is it's legal. And if our committees, and another thing I'll bring up, being in the insurance world, if our, if you represent the county on a board like us commissioners, council, different boards, you have linebacker coverage from your insurance companies, which means that they'll protect you personally in a lawsuit. As long as you didn't act rogue. They could, not saying they would. They could say, okay, Tim, you were sitting on the APC, you did something without legal advice. You caused the county to be sued. We are not backing you. You're going to have to personally take care of this lawsuit. That's why it's so important to listen to your lawyers. So, I mean, we can sit here and talk about what is without the people in this room. And obviously, if a company like Dolphin or Ranger sends a letter from an attorney, that's a legal document saying that they've done what they're supposed to do. It's up to our attorneys or whoever to say, or our legal counsel to say, well, no, you haven't. And it has not been done that way, so.
But if it goes to Roger to make the decision.
Roger
Right.
works with the lawyers.
Right, I understand that.
He's not a lawyer either, so.
I understand.
He just
Right.
does what gosh, can't think the plan that the APC is made up. He just follows that. And I can't even, I'm sorry, the ordinance, thank you. Yes.
So if it's up to him now to make the decision, hang on.
Okay.
Hang on, if it's up to him now to make the decision, is that what I understand from you? Then he would be the one to make the decision whether ABC, you're saying ABC doesn't have that authority.
Or he already made a decision, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Or the decision was already made, yeah, he's the zoning administrator, he holds that key.
So he makes the decision now. And he said that it was contingent, it was a probational permit. He said it was a probational permit in his letter that he read in the meeting.
That's what he said. That's what he
So it
said.
was provisional.
Yeah.
So he could make that decision now that you've not fulfilled, you've not provided the data, the technical data, the studies that are supposed to be prior to.
But you said, Roger said that they have.
No, I said Roger said it. He had not received them. Colleen had not received. Colleen said she had not received them. Roger said he had not received them. Still had not received them to that on that meeting.
Let's wait for Roger to be here.
I'm sorry.
Well, let's wait for the next meeting for Roger to be here so we can better, because I don't want to say what he said and what he didn't say.
I agree, Roger knows. He knows whether or not he issued a permit. I mean, that's what this whole thing boils down to. And he knows.
He called it a permit. He said you can consider it at the beginning of his meeting, of his letter. He said you can consider that this is a permit. It will be a probational permit and until we receive your data. So that was his letter. So he could, if I understand correctly, he could say now that it's been more than 60 days, we've not received it, still haven't received it. And you can make it that according to the statute, the ordinance that they were going off of, it would seem that they could make it, he could make it, that it's not, he could dismiss the permit.
If he hasn't already issued it. I don't know, it's a messy situation, I know.
Yeah.
If he hasn't already dismissed it, the way our code reads is that when you're applying for a permit, and if you forgot something, you better fix it and get it all together within 60 days, or I think it just automatically gets dismissed. And Roger actually doesn't have a ton of discretion. If they check all the boxes they're supposed to check, he can't deny it.
Right. And they haven't checked all the boxes.
Bingo.
So then we have a question of, did they not check all the boxes and was this denied automatically? Or did they check all the boxes and you added extra things in there? Because they were ahead of schedule or whatever. And I'm not just trying to punt just for the sake of punting, but he knows more. He's forgotten more about our zoning code than I'll ever know, so. He's the one who knows it.
But we called it probation.
And I don't remember his exact terminology, but that is something.
So,
Anyone else?
I have one more issue. And this may not be I understand there's supposed to be a public health department public meeting in May 7th. Does that sound right?
I can tell you.
Call the health department, they'll tell you. Is Jenny still back there? Okay.
For what?
Just, they have a monthly meeting.
Yeah,
Or is it a monthly?
yeah, they had one
Yeah.
last week.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're monthly, yeah.
Yeah, they get together every month.
And I didn't know, maybe I should talk privately instead, but I did see
May 6th.
6th, okay. So,
Felt at the health department, Attica.
okay, is that as opposed to the courthouse?
Oh, yeah.
It's up there.
Yep, in the health department. You know where that's at?
I don't.
Sycamore Street, you know where the high school is at?
In
Attica.
And the grain elevator and concrete plant.
Go straight on down from the high school headed west. You'll cross Perry Street. Concrete plant on the right, health department it's all electric too. You'll see a lot of electric vehicles out there and things. But they're in the front of the building.
And is the issue is that are we still promoting as a county the COVID vaccine?
That would be a question for Dan.
Dan?
Hessler,
Dan Hessler.
the health doctor.
I don't want to speak for Dan.
Okay.
But send him an email or I can ask my question. See what his exact. It is on the coverage.
Is it something that the commissioners have any input in?
Well,
Just
we
trying to
all,
figure out the process.
yeah, we all work together, so, I mean,
I don't know that the health department they had it
We have billboards.
for Fountain County.
It's
And
I saw it coming out of Williamsport up to 41. There's a billboard there.
There's one for lead paint and
Yeah.
something else, but I've never seen one for,
I don't know if it's still there. I just know it was there.
okay.
It has been there.
Well, I don't ever remember them pushing it hard, you know?
In the billboards. I know it's on.
All right. Never seen that one. I know Warren County had a billboard in our county. And it might have had something about it. But that was Dr. Sharma in Warren County, not Fountain. It's just in Fountain County. It had health department, so maybe. Well. So yeah, call Jenny at the health department. She can.
I have a question. I watched it online, your last meeting, there was a gentleman in here concerned about his property values, not because of solar, but because of the junk properties that are around this county. Did anything ever get resolved on that? Because, what's the deal there? I mean, I can tell you, you can go right out to Substation Road here and that big 2-story house right there. Solar would be an improvement to that place, up its value. And, several others around here too, so.
We've got hundreds of them.
You know, are we gonna do anything about that?
That's, I mean, we're still.
Yeah, I sent him a letter. We can prosecute that through the BZA or the APC. Historically, Fountain County has done everything through the health department. I don't know why. But I sent him a letter and he called and he said, "You're not the health department. What are you guys doing?" And he's got a period of time to start cleaning stuff up, or we use the BZA or the APC to prosecute it, I guess. What'll come of it, I have no idea, but.
At one point, the final point, it goes to court, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just not, the APC doesn't have the authority. They have the authority to push it, but ultimately it goes to the Fountain Circuit Court, or could end up there.
I thought there was some kind of provision in which you could, if they don't clean it up, you could clean it up and add that amount to their taxes or something like that. Is that right?
And you end up owning the property. The problem is we have, hey, we need 20 grand to go clean this garbage heap up, and then we can own the property afterwards. And
It's a long process.
yeah, you're not.
Court.
Yep.
It's up overnight.
Yeah, I mean, about yours.
That's exactly.
Alright. We'll go ahead and make a motion to close.
I'll make a motion to close.
I'll take it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, well. Have a good week. I'm gonna use that. Let's see, I'm still getting.